how many statues were taken by the British from this one temple called the Somnathpura Temple? Is it 0, 16, 160, or 1,600? If you watch till the end of this video, you're going to be shocked at the real answer. Usually, I'll show you what's there in temples, but today, I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to find what's not there. Let's begin. Now, let's go straight into the main chamber of this 750-year-old temple. The chamber is filled with extraordinary lathe-turned pillars and some insane ceilings, which are truly unexplainable. This is what is there, but look carefully. Do you see what's not there? Look at this pillar alone. Do you see what's missing? Nothing, right? Look at this part. Why would a pillar have such a projection here? Maybe to keep lamps for decorative purposes, right? This is the mainstream theory. And these lamp holders are on all four sides of the pillar. Let me put my camera up top and take a look at how this so-called lamp holder looks inside. You see this deep depression? There is no reason to have this deep depression. There was another reason for creating this pit. On each one of the so-called lamp holder, you will see this. But now, look carefully above the pillar. What about this hole? Why do you see another hole created exactly above this depression? Again, you'll see above each one of this so-called lamp holder, you will see a hole. Why did ancient builders put a hole on top and a hole at the bottom? Because they installed a statue between these two holes using these two pits to support the statue. So around this pillar, you had 4 statues of dancing women called Madanikas. This is just a theory, right? We don't have any evidence to support this, right? No, I have good evidence. If you go to the Chennakeshava Temple at Belur, which is considered a sister site of Somnathpura, you will see 4 Madanikas around every lathe-turned pillar in front of the sanctum sanctorum. And if you look carefully, you will see the slot above and how the statue was installed. And because these statues in Belur are not stolen, thankfully, we cannot see the depression at the bottom. You can see the same lathe-turned pillars with the same ceilings in Chennakeshava Temple with 4 Madanikas around each pillar. And this temple is called Keshava Temple at Somnathpura. And you can see the same ceilings and same lathe-turned pillars, but all the statues were stolen and they are in the hands of the British Museum, European museums, and with private collectors. There are 4 pillars in front of the sanctum, and each pillar had 4 statues. So a total of 16 idols have been stolen, and they were stolen by the British when they were ruling India, and they have never returned these statues. By the way, historians who think these are lamp holders should just look a few feet below. The lamp holders are carved right below at the base of the same pillars. So there should be absolutely no doubt that 16 statues were stolen from the Somnathpura Temple. But I just created a clickbait title to get a lot of views, right? How can 160 statues be taken from one temple, right? Before I show you more evidence, let me show you the main idols. Yes, I said idols in plural. Usually Hindu temples will have just one main statue, but Somnathpura Temple is very unique and it houses three main statues of Vishnu in three different chambers. These three statues you see on the screen. But do you see anything wrong with the statue in the center? The main statue of these temples are always made with shiny black rock. But the statue in the center is not so black and not so shiny. Something is fundamentally wrong with it, right? And look at the discoloration here. The arms are of a different color and the rest of the body is of a different color. This would never happen with an ancient statue. It would have been completely black and shiny. So why does this statue look different? Because it's not original. The British stole the main statue, yes, the main idol of Keshava, from the central chamber. And if you look at the base, you can see the gap between the statue and the base. And if you look carefully, you can even see the depression here. This is definitely not the original statue. Let's go back to another main chamber in the same temple, which still has the original main statue. Here, you can see a perfect fit with no gaps or depressions. It's very hard to notice this. Most people see, but not really observe these details. So, this statue is original, but the one in the central chamber is not. And the original priceless statue of Keshava is held by the British Museum. Okay, so a total of 17 statues were stolen, right? No. Let's go outside and see what's not there. The outer view of Somnathpura is fabulous. It has 3 different towers, and the temple walls are adorned with a lot of amazing carvings. But remember, your eyes only see what is there. Humans don't have the natural ability to see what's not there. But you see here, you see this extension sticking out of the wall, and directly above it, you see that slot there. Look carefully in all these places. Yes, there were a lot of giant statues placed here as well. This is why you see this stone extending from the wall. This is the base, and directly on top, you see the slot. Because between these two slots, there was a statue. And not just one or two. I calculate that at least 50 giant statues were placed between these slots, and they've all been stolen. Again, you can find the exact same detail in Chennakeshava Temple. You can see these idols placed outside the temple walls, up top, exactly in the same position. So we know these statues existed and were stolen. So the count of stolen statues just went up from 17 to 67. By the way, did you notice the ancient ventilators? They look very magical. They have a very odd shape. Now, if you look at them long enough or look through them, they give you a psychedelic effect. The shape of each one is quite extraordinary, except in some places at the eye level, the ventilators are just ugly squares. Why would the ancient builders leave some holes as squares? Because there was a statue covering this. That's why. Ancient builders did not bother to shape them because the statue was originally placed here and it covered the square holes. You see this bottom projection? There was a statue placed here. So this statue was stolen, making the count to 68. And like this, we can see at least another 32 statues missing. Like here, 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 and here, making it into a total of 100 stolen statues. And I'm getting tired of counting here. So I will just add the number of stolen statues at the top right corner. Now, if you look around, you can see this hall adorned with beautiful pillars. The Somnathpura Temple has a hallway built around it, but do you see those doors? If you walk around, you will find a total of 64 chambers. And yes, each one is a chamber housing a beautiful statue of Vishnu. Let me show you the ancient Vishnu statue inside this chamber. Gone. Stolen. Maybe I'm cherry picking information and showing you just one statue missing out of 64 chambers, right? Here's another one. Gone. Another one. Gone. Locals tell us that each chamber housed a beautiful metal statue of Lord Vishnu. Archaeological reports say they housed Vedic deities. How many of the 64 statues are missing? All of them. Yes, all 64 statues have been stolen. So you see, the number of stolen statues have come to 164, surpassing the number 160. You might have thought that there's no way the British took 160 statues, but yes, they have. In fact, we're just scratching the surface of the missing idols in these shrines. According to some historians, each chamber in this hall housed at least 10 statues. Think about this. Today, if you look at any temple chamber housing Lord Vishnu's statue, it won't be alone. You will also have a statue of Lakshmi, his wife, and his mount, Garuda, amongst other idols. These statues have also been stolen, and this is why we see random standalone statues of Garuda and Lakshmi standing alone in all these museums in Europe and the US. Garuda is usually never shown without Vishnu, but why do we see so many Garudas in museums? They've all been taken together, then separated and sold to museums. So, from each of these chambers, at least 3 statues would have been stolen. So, the stolen count is not 164. It's actually 292. Some experts think each chamber had more than 10 statues, but I'm not going to take that number because there's no way of confirming this. And that number is way too high. Some reports even claim that not all of them were metal statues, and some were stone statues, and some of them are in a dilapidated condition, still kept in a corner of the temple. But this theory does not hold water because we can even see Jain statues kept here. So they're not original statues from these chambers. Okay, the British actually took hundreds of statues from this one temple alone. As much as this is hard to believe, it is a fact. But it would be just pure exaggeration and clickbait to claim that 1,600 statues have been stolen, because this is simply impossible, right? But there is something very strange about the roof of this temple. They're designed like the old batten roofing, mimicking wooden planks and poles. In reality, nothing in this temple is made of wood. This is all made of 100% stone. But the sculptors have pretended that this is all made of crisscrossing wooden blocks, and they've even put bolts in the places where the planks join. Are they real bolts and nuts? No, I am nuts, because I'm just rambling about the beauty of the roof, moving away from the topic of stolen statues, right? No, this one has a bolt, and this one has a bolt. But what about this one? Why is there a square slot carved here instead of a bolt? Okay, maybe this is a mistake. But right next to it, again, you can see the regular bolt. But again, right next to it, you can see a rectangular slot. But the bolts continue after that. Why? Think about it. Humans are not good at seeing what doesn't exist. They only see what's there. And this pattern of having a series of bowls, except this corner one and that corner one, is not just seen in one place. It's seen all over the roof. Why? Let me zoom out and highlight the parts that are relevant. You see those two projections? And you see how they're projecting sideways? You will always see them below these two empty slots. Why? Because ancient builders installed two statues in these two places. Let me recreate them using technology. This is how it would have looked, not just in one corner on the roof of Somnathpura Temple, but everywhere. These statues would have been amazing, but they would have been quite unique because of their size. They were no taller than 10 or 12 inches. They were tiny little statues. There is no other reason for ancient builders to create these projections at the base and carve these rectangular slots directly above them. In some places where you see all the bolts on the roof, you will see a rectangular slot in a slightly different place. This confirms that they did install all these mini statues and they drilled these rectangular holes while installing them. If the slot was too inconvenient because of the size of the statue, they put the slot a little bit further to accommodate the statue. Now, is it possible that they created all these holders and drilled all these holes, but they could not finish placing the statues? What if ancient builders were planning to install these statues and suddenly a war broke out and they all ran away without installing the statues? No, look here. That is a damaged holder. It got damaged when the British removed the statue. This is clear evidence that these statues were installed once upon a time, but were then removed. When the British took these statues, in places where they could not easily dismantle the statues, they broke the top holders and the bottom holders and removed the statues. Here, you can see how both the top and bottom show broken fragments. Such a detail would not be seen if the statues had never been installed. But there is one more artistic detail that really nails the fact that these statues were placed here. It is the carving of ganas underneath them, showing that they're bearing the weight. These ganas are tiny gnome-like creatures, usually shown underneath statues and heavy loads, and they usually have their arms raised up as though they're bearing the load. I've shown you this feature in many temples. These ganas were carved directly underneath the statues, confirming that these mini idols were installed all around the temple wall. How many mini statues are we talking about? 220 mini statues. Yes, 220. I will show you exactly how I calculated this. See, the temple wall of Somnathpura is folded into many facets. If we extend these facets and make them into a straight wall, it might even stretch for half a mile long. Yes, some have estimated that the temple perimeter extends for 1 kilometer. And I've calculated the number of these corners. You see, each one projects into a cube or a cone from the top view. This cone, for example, is this area, and each cube or cone had 4 mini statues. This cone had 1, 2, 3, 4 statues, and this temple has a total of 55 of these structures. Now, this is a blueprint of the temple, and you can see 55 of them. Therefore, 55 times 4 equals a whopping 220 statues. So if we add that to the stolen statue count there, that comes out to an insane number of 512. Now, you might have realized that this was not a clickbait thumbnail, because we are really approaching this big number in the thumbnail. But we're not finished yet. In fact, we are just getting started. I want to show you a lot more of these stolen statues, but I cannot post it in public. So I'm putting the rest of the video in the members only section, which shows you some insane details about the stolen idols of Somnathpura. I've collected so much information about this, and you're going to be surprised by the sheer volume of idols stolen from Somnathpura. It is unbelievable what they've taken from this temple. So please click on the join button below and watch that video. You can see something quite insane. In the thumbnail, you might have thought they would have stolen 16 statues or a maximum of 160 statues. But nobody would have thought they would have taken 1,600 statues from one temple. Most people don't even think there are 1,600 statues in one temple. But the ancient Somnathpura Temple has more than 5,000 carvings, even after all these statues have been taken from it. Sadly, all these stolen idols are in different museums and in the hands of private collectors. And I hope we can take this as a lesson to protect these ancient temples better. I am Praveen Mohan. Thanks a lot for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.